Yes, now we say good morning to meteorologist Tracy Butler.
Hello there, Tanya. Good morning to you, Mark, and good morning to all of you. And this morning, the high cloud cover has started to stroll on in, but we are precipitation free, and I don't think we'll have any precipitation around for our morning and not even for our afternoon evening commute. But it's more likely very late this evening and overnight tonight. Here's 9 p.m. Snow is beginning far to the west, and really during the overnight hours was when it creeps in here. Right now, our temperatures are in the 20s. 22 University Park, 25 Schaumburg. More details on this pending snow all coming up. Ross?
Well, nice and calm out there now on the expressways and tollways. Here's the Dan Ryan at 31st, moving along fine. We've got very light traffic volume, and we're not seeing any issues on any of the expressways. Got a little bit of overnight road work, quite a bit of it. On the inbound dike approaching the Jane Byrne interchange, it is causing a slight slowdown. We'll tell you what's going on over there in the next report. Tanya and Mark.
Roz, thank you. We're going to begin with President Trump's historic impeachment trial in Washington.
The House prosecution team will begin making their case today. The first full day of the trial wrapped up just a few hours ago. ABC's Elizabeth Herr is live on Capitol Hill with the latest. Elizabeth.
Mark and Tanya, good morning to you. And yes, day one was a long day, and many Senate members left the building exhausted. But Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says, in his view, day one was a good day. The impeachment trial of President Trump resuming today with opening statements. This following a marathon session yesterday that stretched well past midnight. With the ground rules approved and some senators even seen rushing out of the building. The trial kicked off with a fierce debate over the rules.
But President Trump does not want you to hear from Ambassador Bolton. And the reason has nothing to do with executive privilege or this other nonsense.
The only one who should be embarrassed, Mr. Nadler, is you.
This clash even prompting a rare moment. Chief Justice John Roberts admonishing both sides.
I think it is appropriate at this point for me to admonish both the House managers and the President's counsel in equal terms to remember that they are addressing the world's greatest deliberative body.
Democrats spent most of the day arguing without additional witnesses or documents. The trial amounts to a cover-up. But President Trump's lawyers fired back, alleging House Democrats rushed to impeach without fighting for witnesses in court. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell did make some changes to his proposed rules, now giving 3 days of opening statements and allowing the existing evidence. But Democrats kept fighting.
The House calls John Bolton. The House calls Mick Mulvaney. The question is, will you let us?
All in all, Democrats offered 11 amendments to the rules, but in the end, all were voted down almost entirely along party lines. I'm Elizabeth Herr, live on Capitol Hill for ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Elizabeth, thank you. President Trump's day is already well underway at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. He's meeting with business leaders and has one-on-one meetings with the president of the Kurdistan Regional Government and the president of Iraq. Air Force One is expected to be wheels up and on its way back to the United States in a matter of hours. Stay with the ABC 7. Stay with ABC 7 right here on the air, online, and on our free news app for in-depth coverage of the president's impeachment trial in the days and weeks ahead.
A man is shot in Chicago's Logan Square neighborhood, and that led to a police chase ending with a crash in Ravenswood. That police pursuit of the suspects was captured on cell phone video last night. The suspects fired shots at officers before crashing outside of a bank near Montrose and Western. The offenders were taken into custody, and this all started when a 43-year-old man was shot behind a funeral home in Logan Square. He is in critical condition. No officers were hurt. A teenager has been shot during an attempted robbery on Chicago's South Side. That was last night near Lindblom Math and Science Academy in Englewood. Police say that 2 armed suspects got out of a car and tried to rob the 17-year-old boy and 15-year-old. The 17-year-old was shot in the chest. He's in fair condition this morning.
A Joliet police officer is expected in court this morning on a DUI charge that's tied to a crash that killed a Berwyn police officer. Jessica D'Onofrio is live at the Will County Courthouse with more on what's happening today. Jess.
Mark, prosecutors have filed a motion to have a special prosecutor appointed in this case. There is a hearing scheduled for later on this morning. Now, Joliet police officer Aaron Zilka, a 12-year veteran of the force, was issued a misdemeanor DUI ticket in the accident Sunday morning that caused the death of her passenger, 33-year-old Berwyn police officer Charles Shower. Both officers were off duty at the time when she allegedly crashed her Dodge Durango into the back of a box truck that had been involved in another drunk driving crash on I-55 near Plainfield. The Illinois State Police recommended that she be charged with DUI and driving too fast for conditions, but the investigation continues. The Will County Prosecutor's Office citing a potential conflict of interest in prosecuting the Joliet police officer, so they have requested that a special prosecutor be appointed. Zilka's attorney says his client's blood alcohol level was under the legal limit and that the stretch of road was so dark where the accident happened that Zilka was unable to see the crash as she approached it. Meanwhile, Officer Shower will be laid to rest this weekend. Reporting live at the Will County Courthouse, Jessica D'Onofrio, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Chicago's O'Hare Airport will start screening passengers for a new and potentially deadly virus that's circulating in China. The CDC has confirmed the first American case of this particular strain of coronavirus is in Washington state. The patient recently returned from Wuhan, China, where the virus was first discovered last month. Doctors in Chicago say there's still a lot to learn about this virus.
So far, what we know is that it's like a lower respiratory tract infection, fever, cough, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing. If we have person-to-person transmission, it can develop into much more of an epidemic.
The U.S. is the fifth nation to report seeing this illness, in addition to China, Thailand, Japan, and South Korea.
Omar, here's some perspective on this strain of the coronavirus. As we mentioned, it has killed a total of 9 people worldwide so far, and that compares to an estimated 6,600 flu deaths just across the U.S. so far this season. According to the CDC, however, viruses can mutate into more dangerous and contagious forms, and it's still too early to say what will happen with this particular strain of the coronavirus. Now, for now, the CDC believes the risk to the American public is low. The added health screenings at 5 U.S. airports, including O'Hare, apply only to people arriving from that specific region of Wuhan, China. The Chicago Department of Public Health says out of everybody else, nobody needs to change their travel plans or their behavior at the airport in any way.
R. Kelly is expected to be back in a Chicago courtroom later this morning. Prosecutors could announce which of the criminal cases against the embattled singer they're going to pursue first. Kelly's charged with several counts of sexual abuse against underage girls. He also faces separate federal charges, including child pornography and enticement of a minor. Surveillance footage shows thieves climbing through a window at a Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru. Look at this right here. It happened yesterday in the Porter's Park neighborhood. That store was closed. You can see they were able to get away and into the cash register. That store manager says they also got away with a safe and some other items. Police have not made any arrests.
Also today in our morning rundown, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot will be in Washington, D.C. The U.S. Conference of Mayors is holding its winter meeting. The Pritzker Military Museum and Library on Michigan Avenue is launching its new exhibit this evening. It's about the Land, Air, and Sea campaign that ended World War II 75 years ago. And admission to both the Adler and Field Museums is free today. For the Adler, it's part of their 90th anniversary celebrations. We got to see the unveiling of their new logo.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Let's see that. Very cool.